Hey guys, welcome back to Steve's Garage. I know it has been forever since I've done a video, but quite frankly, the things that I have left to do to this Nova is kind of winding down. But I did come up with one more thing that I want to do, and let me show you what that is. So this time around, we are going to replace the steering box. And here's the one I got. And I will show you the part number down in the description, so look for that. And I got this off of Summit Racing, and it is a 12.7 to 1 ratio steering box, power steering box rather. And one of the things that it said that I had to get was this new rag joint, because they're saying that this spline groove on here, I think they said it's a 31. I'll have to double check that, but I think it's a 31 spline. And the stock version is much smaller. I don't know what spline it is. 26 comes to mind, but I could be wrong on it. I have to double check that. But I think it's smaller. So I had to get this rag joint. And one of the things that people complained about was that this thing offset the steering. So you can see on this, it's got a little flat joint right there, right? A little flat spot. Right there. No spline there, okay? So that's gonna fit on this flat spot here. And someone had said that this was adjustable, and it's really not adjustable, right? One of them had a screw setting that went right through here to go right into that little dimple right there. This one doesn't. Obviously, this is a clamp style, right? But it's still got the flat boss on there to only go in one position, okay? You can't turn it and put it in any other position, all right? It's just not gonna go on, no matter how you turn it. It's only going in one spot, and that's right where that flat spot is, okay? See if we can get a close-up of that. All right, so it only goes on one way, unless you were to grind that flat spot out of there, and then maybe you could turn it. But the main issue is that people would complain about the position of this. So I took a look at it and I turned it, right? So this thing has 3 full turns lock to lock here, right? So half, 1, half, 2, half, 3. Okay, so one full turn and a half. That's dead center right there. So I looked at where this pin was. There's a large stud here and a small stud here. And then I confirmed inside the car here. If you can see up in there, you can see that the fat stud is on the right hand side, and it's going to be kind of hard to see the small one. Let's see if I can get in there and see. I don't know if you can see that. And the small one is on the left. And the 2 alignment studs are straight up and down, according to the steering box, okay? Where the lines come in. And that's what I did here. So it looks like it's aligned to me, right? So I'm not sure what they're talking about with the steering being slightly off. And they were looking for rag joints that would help them adjust it so they could get the steering wheel realigned. I don't think I'm going to have that problem. The only thing that's going to cause me a problem, maybe, is the alignment studs on here. So you can see that's got little flat keyways on it. I think 4 of them all the way around this. So what I need to do now is pull off that pitman arm. Let me get my light again. Pull off that pitman arm there and see if I have the same alignments on those flat spots. So that's what I'm looking for. There's so much gunk on it, you know, because it's original. It's 1972, so was it 50 years old? So I'm gonna pull that off of there and check those spline grooves, and hopefully they are in the right spot. So let me pull it off and we'll take a look. All right, so here we go. I got the pitman arm on. And if you look at it there, You can see we do have splines. Looks like top and bottom, left and right. Yep. We definitely have splines in there. Get this light in there. Okay. So now, we look at ours. We know they're at the 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock position. And that looks, with that set right there, right on the money at the same positions. So I think we're good. So now I'm going to pull that power steering box out of there. And one of the things that they told me don't do is reusing the old power steering fluid. Voids the warranty if you do that. All right. So I've got new power steering fluid, couple of quarts for that, and also picked up a new pressure line just for fun, just so that I know that it's new, because I think the one that's in there is original. So I'm going to replace that as well. So let's get to it, and then I'll show you what I've done. All right, guys, we got this thing on the bench over here. And one of the things that people complained about, they said that this Performance Series power steering box for the 72 Nova was an inch bigger. In other words, an inch closer to the headers, and that I'm concerned about. All right. So I got them on the bench here, and I want to take a look and see if there really is a significant difference in size. Because I am close to, probably about a ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch away from one of my headers. All right, so here we got it. So if you look at them, they look like they're the same height, right? So I tried to align this one straight across here. It lines up exactly with the center of the stud there. And across the top, they look close. Okay, they look very, very close. Maybe an 1/8 of an inch higher here. And you see the shape is a little bit different. You can see we got a bolt here. We don't have a bolt here. We've got this extension that goes higher here, and this one does not have it. Although, if we look at the overall height, if we kind of try to measure this, let's see if I can do this. Okay, so let's take a look. To center, so what is that? That's, yeah, let's use these properly, all right? So to the top is right about there. Okay, from center on this one. All right, so if we look at the round there, the round part on that one, they look really close. Even this upper flange right here is of the same height as that one right there. So it really isn't that much higher, although down here at the bottom of this one, it's got a huge bump here. Well, that's causing this thing to tilt downwards because it's so high, right? So that's got something to do with it there. So I want to try to figure out a way to measure it so that I can understand that the spline in this thing is the same height. So let me get some kind of a straight edge here, and then we'll measure that to this one as well. So let's try this. Okay, so coming about a 1/4 inch into the rag joint on that one. This one Well, it's about 1/4 of an inch into the rag joint on that one too. So even though it's a little bit different type of a case, it looks a little bit off, you know, because it probably fits multiple applications. I mean, you can see several changes here. Reinforcements here, only one there. You got this flange that goes all the way down to the side of here. Completely different shape there. Totally different shape altogether. We got a little flange on this one. None here. So it's pretty different. Not to mention, this is bolted on right here, and this is forged on. It's all one piece. There's no cap there that I can tell. Yep, it's all one piece. So let's do this. Let's measure from here, from the round part to the center there, and see what we get. Okay, I tried a few measurements and it just really wasn't telling me a whole lot. Here's what I think is important. This is what people are complaining about. It's from sitting on the frame here to here, right? So what I want to try to measure is from the bottom of here to the top of that. Same thing here, from the bottom of here to the top of there. So, and I apologize for having to carry this camera around. I lost my stand, so I'm not able to set you on a tripod. I just kind of got to set you down flat and hopefully you can see it. So let me set it right here. All right. So here's what I got. Using a little Allen wrench here. I want to try to set this. Let me switch around to this side. All right, so I got that sitting flat. If I measured this one to the top of that case, I'm coming up at 4 7/8 of an inch. Right to the top of there, okay? 4 7/8. All right, let's take a look at this one. Same thing. Make sure this is good and flat. I am at 5 inches. So it is 1/8 of an inch taller right here. So that brings that bolt 1/8 of an inch closer. Now, this bolt on this one is lower than this curve. So let's measure the bolt. And if I can just kind of look across there, it looks like I'm looking at 4 3/8. This one four and 3/4. So that bolt is what? 5/8 of an inch, over 1/2 an inch closer to the header than that one. So that's a big difference when you're talking about these 2.5 inch headers that I've got. So, and I didn't really look before I took it out of there exactly how close it was, but I think it was pretty close. So I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and shove this thing up in there, stick the bolts in it, drop the car down and take a look and see how close it is. All right, so be right back after I shove it. All right, so bolted it up in there. Get this out of the way. And let's take a look. So, get my light over here for you. Looks like I'm clear. So, you can see the header. pretty close, but I got room. Plenty of room over here. Not bad at all. Very impressed. Fits flush. It's got the groove in the cross member there for it to fit right up into. You can see that. Alignment of the steering looks dead on. Dead on the money. All right, so all concerns put to rest. Very happy about that. So now I'm going to work on, I'm going to drop it back down, put the rag joint back on it, clamp that on, stuff it, well actually very first thing, pull it out of there, and I'm going to take that power line, replace that, the high pressure line, replace that first. That line right there. So replace that one first, and then hang the power steering box here so I can attach both of these lines. This one's sitting here too, all right? And then after I got those lines clamped on there real good, then I'll lift it up, bolt it in place. All right? So I'll be right back. I found my camera stand. Sorry about that, guys. Evidently it's been too long since I've done a video and forgot where I put things. So anyway, now you can watch what I'm doing. Again, I apologize. So here, I bought a special tool to put that little line on there, the power line. High pressure line, whatever you call it. And the one time that these really come in handy are these here. Super handy for this spot especially. So, and they really weren't that expensive. I think they were like, I don't know, 50 bucks for the whole set, something like that. So the way I've got that in there, just enough clearance from the cross member and from the engine, and then I'll clamp it up in the cross member clamp right over there. Hey, so one thing I wanted to make sure you guys knew about is with this power steering box, this comes with options to use a regular screw-in line or flared fittings. If you got flared, make sure you're using these. We're gonna get the pitman arm on now. And let's see how well that goes. So I want to get my wheels generally straight. Let's check how straight they are here. Should be right about there. Let's see how close we are. Sorry for bumping the camera there. I don't know if you can see well. Wow, I think we're lined up right off the bat. I think we're lined up in there. Give you one more look at everything here. Looks like we got clearance all around. I will have to adjust the hoses up there because I don't particularly like how close that is to the header, so I'll adjust that from up top. But from down here, we're looking pretty good. Lots of clearance there. It's not an easy job, I'll tell you that. That sucker's heavy, and if you don't get it lined up there the first time, boy, that can be a major headache. I've got back issues, and my back's hurting me. So, get yourself a friend, a buddy, something like that. And I know not everybody's got a lift like this, so you're going to be doing it, you know, with jacks down just off the ground. It'd be nice if you had someone up top holding the weight, while someone else is underneath moving into place, right? Split the weight between two guys is going to be really helpful because it is, it's heavy. I don't know, what's it weigh? 25 pounds? Just guessing. All right, guys, so we're getting ready to set it down on the ground, but I wanted to check first how many turns in the steering wheel do I get now going from a 14:1 ratio to a 12.7 ratio? Probably not a lot, but I know when I was turning it, I was getting a full 2.5 turns lock to lock, because you can't really tell from the steering box when you turn that, right? Because you've got stops on these wheels on the lower A-frames that will stop it from going too far. So the question is, how many turns does it take to get from stop to stop now that it's mounted up, right? So on the old one, it was 2.5 turns, lock to lock, 1.25 turns from center to lock, right? So now let's see what we got. If there's no difference, well then obviously I already had a 12.7:1 ratio, but I don't think I did because it was stock. So let's see. All right. All right, all the way to one side. To there. So half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.25. So slightly less. All right. So if it's 2.25, let's look at getting the wheels straight, right about there. So now instead of 1.25 turns, I get half, 1, slightly less than 1/4, like an 1/8 turn. Go back to center again, right about there. Half, 1, yep, slightly less, so 1.125 turn center to lock and 2.25 lock to lock. All right, so we'll see if that makes a big difference in driving it. All right, And that is tomorrow, because right now I got to get cleaned up and take my wife out for her birthday. Yeah, I was working on the car during her birthday. How about that? Okay, so see you in the morning. All right, let's see how it works. We're back. So beautiful day outside, so we'll definitely be taking the car for a spin. So today my plan is to move these tie rod ends here to adjust the steering wheel so that it's straight up. Right now it's probably about maybe 10 degrees over to the right. So if you can look down these wheels, I've got the steering wheel straight up. And you kind of see this wheel is about straight on. This one's turned in quite a bit. So I want to get these, I'm going to measure the outsides from tread to tread, and then on the back, tread to tread. And I want to check that we have the right toe in. Car's never been aligned since I've had it. So I'm going to look it up and see what the toe in should be. And hopefully it's right, because it's never been adjusted. So, all right, let me show you what I got here. So I didn't set the camera up for this, but what I found out is I had to heat them guys up because they were stuck something fierce. So I've got them all loosened up and adjusted. So got that guy there to turn and that guy here on this end. So that's where I'm doing the adjustment. So now that I've got that centered in, and by the way, it was about 3/4 of an inch toe in. It was way off. So if you can see here now, looking to the back, and I did check the width of the back wheels, right? You want to do that. You want to make sure that you have the exact same distance wheel to wheel as you do wheel to wheel here on front. Because what I'm doing is I'm looking down the side here, looking at the sidewall to the sidewall of the back wheel. And center tread to center tread on the front and on the rear is 60.5 inches. So I know I'm exactly spot on. So if you look at it, so you can see right about there, I got just a slight bit of toe in right there. And then here on this side, looking at the back wheel back there, just a slight bit of toe in here. Right, really, really close. And then what I did is I measured in a couple of places. I looked up the specs. The specs say 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch toe in. So I can't really get up here on top in the back, right? You got everything in the way back there. So all I can do is measure from right about here across, which is about 6 inches down from center of the tire. All right, so I check it here. I'm at 60 5/8. And then checking it back here, albeit a little bit lower. I'm at 60 15/16. So I'm a little wide yet. I'm a little over 1/4 of an inch. I'm a 1/16 inch over 1/4. Doing that measurement. And then I check it rim to rim on the inside here. So inside on that rim, 51 1/8. Inside on the rim here, same spot, 51 3/4. Double check it, 51 5/8. So I'm pretty close there. So I think we're going to call that good, because it was way off before. guys, that is a wrap for today. So that was a pretty fun drive, and man, what an amazing day to take that drive. Check that out. Couldn't have been a better day. Really, really super nice. Car is running great. Steering is spot on. Really like it. Super reactive. I keep saying that, but don't let that make you afraid. It's just a little bit, and you get a little, you know, it's so dramatic from the old steering box where I go like this to get anything out of it, right? And it's just a little bit now. It's really nice. You can just leave your hand steady there. You know, before the car would wander because there was so much play in it. I would sit there and have to keep on tapping it back, you know, get back in the lane, get back in the lane. And, you know, it's a 50-year-old steering box, so totally wore out. And man, this one is just, oh, it's beautiful. I can't say enough good things about it. So I'll put a link to the description of the steering box that's in it. I got it from Summit Racing, and not bad. You know, some of them, like, you know, you get like the I think it's the 12-to-1 ratios. I think that's too tight. No, sorry, I think it's like a 9-to-1 or something like that. This one is a 12.7-to-1, I think is what it was. But again, I'll put the link in the description. I think it's a 12.7-to-1 compared to a 14-to-1, which is stock. So dang, these bugs. So I love it. Worked out great. Couldn't ask for better. And we'll see you next time.